UDA. DCI goes for 9 employees suspected of defrauding NIS-owned Njiwa Sacco 160 million shillings as 3 go into hiding. Plus, Harambee Starlets stumble in Cameroon. National women football team fails Cameroon test in Women Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. Right, our sign language interpreter tonight is Joy MUTAVA. My name is AUMA Evans, and remember, we are live on KUTV YouTube. That is KUTV YouTube. That is the channel that you are live on. You can tweet us on all of our social media platform. On X at KUTV_Kenya at AUMA Evans. Remember to use the hashtag Weekend Live. And now we begin our broadcast rather in matters to do with politics, which Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has called on Kenyans to have faith in President William Ruto's government. Gachagua maintains that the government is working around the clock to improve and stabilize the economy. Speaking in Nyandarua County during the burial of Mama Teresia Wangeshi, mother of the Vice Chief of Defense Forces Lieutenant General John Amwangi at Kiandege, the Deputy President reiterated that the high cost of living and especially high fuel prices is a global phenomenon which is beyond the government control. Joseph Ayomo is on that beat tonight.
As the high living cost continues to stun millions of helpless Kenyans, the government is breathing hope in efforts to maintain the trust of the people. Speaking at a burial in Nyandarua County, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has reiterated that the high fuel cost, which has since attracted criticism from across the political divide, is a global crisis that is beyond the government's control.
Sasa iko kelele ya mafuta. Na unajua saa ingine watu hukosa njia kwa kutokojua. Hii shida ya mafuta si ya Kenya, ni ya dunia nzima. Na iko shida Uganda, iko Tanzania, iko Ethiopia, iko Rwanda, iko Eritrea. Pali hakuna shida ni Nigeria kwa sababu wako na visima. Iko shida Europe, iko shida America. Hii si shida ya Rais William Ruto.
Gachagua has called on Kenyans to remain calm in these tough economic times while urging them to have trust in Kenya Kwanza government.
Lakini naomba nyinyi tuelewe. Please, watu wangu wa Nyandarua, watu ya Mlima Kenya, hii serikali ni yetu. Nyinyi ndio mlichagua Rais William Ruto. Kama wengine watatupa mawe, msikuwe ya kwanza. Kwa sababu ukweli ni huo, that the problem is not in Kenya, it is everywhere. Na mpatie watu hope, tusiue watu roho ati ya kwamba mambo ni ngumu sana.
Once again, Gachagua has distanced the government from CS Moses Kuria's public utterances, blasting Kenyans for over-complaining. He, however, refuted talk of a possible dismissal of the trade CS.
Na ndio nilimwambia ndugu yangu jana Moses Kuria, nikamwambia wewe ni mtoto ya nyumbani, tutakuchapa kidogo tukikurudisha nyumba. Mwana hura wachoketi naku. Sababu alikuwa amesema tu watu wachipe visima. Sasa hata tukichipa hapa kuna kitu kitatoka. Hapa hakuna oil, hakuna chochote. Na Kuria ni mtoto wetu, na kwa hivyo mtoto wetu tukimwambia akisikia tunaendelea naye. Hakuna shida.
The recent fuel price review by EPRA saw an unprecedented hike in the fuel prices, with the prices hitting the 200 shilling mark per litre for the first time. The government's new tax provisions stand out as one of the big factors which influence the new fuel prices. According to Gachagua, the government has worked around the clock to stabilize the economy, efforts which have been fruitful.
Na tunajivunia yale ambayo ametutendea kwa mwaka mmoja kukiwa na shida mingi. Mimi nikiwa pale Kasarani nilisema wakaniwakia ati mimi nimekosa adabu kusema ukweli. Nikasema tumekuta store hakuna kitu, hata panya imepotea, hakuna kitu ya kukula. Rais amejaribu kurekebisha hii uchumi, ndio tumeteremsha fertilizer kutoka 7,000 mpaka 2,000.
Gachagua spoke at the burial of Teresia Wangeshi, mother to the Vice Chief of Defence Forces Jonah Mwangi. Joseph Oyomo, KUTV.
All right, thank you, Joseph Oyomo, for that. Now, still matters politics. The Pamoja Africa Alliance Party, PA, an affiliate party of the ruling Kenya Kwanza coalition, has made a public declaration that it will not fold as suggested by the United Democratic Alliance Secretary General Cleophas Malala. According to party leadership, PA supports the Kenya Kwanza agenda, but folding the party is strictly out of the question. They further called for zoning of parties according to region when fielding candidates for elective positions to consolidate numbers instead of competing against each other. The party has 3 elected members of parliament and 16 members of county assemblies from Kwale, Kilifi and Taita Taveta counties.
Hatutavunja chama, lakini tuko kwa muungano, tunamuunga mkono Mheshimiwa Rais na serikali yake, lakini wakati wa kura ukifika tutaketi kama ndugu. Option yetu sisi tunawaambia nyinyi na sisi ni wamoja.
Kwa hiyo siasa, nguvu yako ni kura yako. Mpwani lazima tuelewe hilo. Nguvu yako ni kura yako, na pale utakapoipiga ndipo nguvu itakapokuja. Tutakuwa watu sisi mbele ya watu wengine ikiwa sisi tuna nguvu ya kisiasa.
Meanwhile, the Directorate of Criminal Investigation officers have arrested 6 suspects while 3 others remaining in hiding in a case involving the loss of 160 million from Jiwa Sacco, which belonged to the National Intelligence Service. The suspects include Amos Kipchumba, who was the internal auditor, the loans manager Violet Wali, the accountant Karen Langat, and system analysis Hamisi Zaunga. Others are Mariam Ndenya, Nicodemus Osiemo, Eric Rono, Moses Ntoinya, and Tony Wabomba, a former employee of the Sacco Society. They will be arraigned in court on Monday, September 25th, 2023, to face 9 charges, including conspiracy to commit a felony. The National Council of Churches of Kenya, that is NCCK, in a collaboration with the interreligious leaders, have vowed to start a campaign against gender-based violence. The resolve was arrived at following a workshop sponsored by the NCCK to educate people on the effects of gender-based violence in Kisii County. The leaders have identified gender-based violence as a threat to a united society, as our very own Salma Swale now reports.
Addressing the media after a sensitization workshop sponsored by National Council of Churches of Kenya, NCCK, church clergy and other religious leaders have voted to start the anti-gender-based violence campaign from the grassroots.
Tumeafikiana kwa kauli moja ya kwamba kanisa na dini ndio kwa jumla ndio itaweza kuleta uwiano katika jamii na katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Tumesikia ni shida mbali zimekuja, lakini sana sana tunataka kukabili hilo janga, kwa maana linaangamiza watoto wetu, linaangamiza jamii yetu kwa jumla.
Reverend James Mugiri from Church of God in East Africa, Kenya, has declared the spread of the vice in families and country, leading to the urgent need to fight it. Mugiri is of the idea that the government and religious leaders should join efforts to help curb the vice and ensure unity and peace in households, since both serve the same people.
Turuma ya kichinzia ni jambo ambalo limeathiri jamii nyingi, familia pamoja na hata jamii na nchi kwa ujumla. Na hivyo kama kanisa na madhehebu tumekuja pamoja kwa ajili ya kuweza kuona ni jinsi gani ambavyo tunaweza kuwa katika mstari wa mbele ili tukaweza kufundisha na tukaweza kuzungumza kinyume na hayo kwa ajili ya kutengeneza jamii ambayo ni ya nguvu.
Judith Mongare of the Saint Apostolic Church notes that the rise of cost of living has compounded to the case of GBV, especially in families with many concealing untold suffering. After the training, The participants are expected to use public meetings and attend religious functions to create awareness on the vice.
Omeswa kuhusu gender based violence vile imeaffect watu wote Kenya, imeaffect kuanzia watoto mpaka watu wasima, imeaffect mpaka kanisa. Imeaffect kanisa in that mtu hata hawezi ana hata kitu ya kukula ndiye atoke akuje kanisani. Na vile tumeangalia vile economy inaenda ikipanda juu, imeaffect mpaka hata watoto hawaendi shule.
The clergy has now taken the responsibility of fighting and eradicating gender-based violence in the country while hoping for maximum support from the government. Salma Swaleh, KUTV.
Right, thank you Salma Swaleh for that. And Second Lady Dorcas Rigathi has vowed to lobby for more jobs opportunity for people living with disability through government legislation, while flagging off a charity hike on Mount Longonot dubbed Climb for the Blind, aimed at raising resources for the visually impaired in the country. Pastor Dorcas called for an end to the stigmatization of people living with disability. Munene Weru with more details.
The spouse to the Deputy President Dorcas Rigathi has promised to lobby for government-backed legislation to secure employment positions for people living with disabilities. While flagging off a hike on Mount Longonot in Nakuru County, dubbed Climb for the Blind, the Second Lady suggested that just as there is a two-thirds gender role in employment, the disabled should also be given their chances.
And we are going to continue with this advocacy, not only advocacy, but we are going to lobby for registration, so that even when we talk about two-thirds majority, we are talking about women, we are talking about girls, we can also talk about employment where we give them a certain percentage for them to be able to feel.
At the foot of Mount Longonot, the Second Lady resented the stigmatization of the disabled in the job market, sentiments that were echoed by the Chief Executive of the Kenya Society for the Blind, Samson Owawero.
These are not, they are Kenyans, and what we need is to just make them feel so.
Pastor Dorcas, who also took part in the charity hike, revealed that proceeds of the initiative will be injected into basic services for the disabled community, importantly in providing supporting equipment for their education.
The funds we raise today will make a significant impact on the lives of those who are visually impaired. They will provide access to education, skills training, and to empower individuals to lead independent and fulfilling lives.
People living with disabilities are one of the key pillars prioritized by the Office of the Second Lady, with the Society of the Visually Impaired in the country reaping large from this initiative. Munene Weru, KUTV.
Alright, now 2 people have lost their lives in an Embu Road accident where a 14-seater matatu lost direction. Several passengers sustained injuries and are recuperating in a hospital. Some witnesses have recounted on how they escaped death by a whisker as one victim got hit while crossing the road. Joshua Njeru, an eyewitness, has urged the government to carry out a detailed inspection of all vehicles to ensure that they comply with the traffic rules to avoid loss of lives as caused by the speeding faulty cars.
Sasa ningeomba serikali ichunguze magari yote ya matatu, gari zote siangaliwe kama breki ikiwa ni nini iwekwe service, sababu accident kama hiyo imetendeka hapo, hiyo watu wamekufa hapo, sio watu walikuwa na makosa, ni watu wanajifanyia kazi yao na ni vibaya sana.
Hii gari imetupitia kwa hiyo mteremko ya hapo Isaac, kwa babu ya kwanza ya Isaac, kwa hizo nyumba za civil servants zimejengwa hapo mpya. Ndio ilikuwa nataka kutugonga nikiwa kwa motorbike, ilikuwa mimi na msichana mwingine amebebewa hapo university na driver wa motorbike. Ndio imetusukuma ikatuweka kando.
Alright, it's time to take our first break here on KUTV Weekend Live. Plenty more to follow, including a lot of stories that we have lined up for you. But first thing first, let's take this particular break and we'll be back in just a minute.
you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audio-visual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
I'm Associate Professor in the Institute of Philosophy of Jagiellonian University in Krakow, Poland, and I'm the main coordinator of the Cafe project, which is being here hosted by Kenyatta University.
My name is Ewa Hudoba. I am a project manager in this consortium. Keep watching cutting-edge research at Kenyatta University Television.
Where is the borderline between my freedom of choice in terms of religion and me entering into some sort of a cult? Because again, it's my choice.
Well, Irene, what I would say here is that there is barely a distinction between religion and cultism. They are intertwined.
Right, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Now, people living with hearing impairment in Thika have stepped forward to voice their concern, emphasizing the need for greater inclusion. They lamented on being overlooked in addition to difficulties while seeking government services. As Yvonne Kemuma reports, the group is calling on the government to develop strategies to ensure that both public and private sectors have sign language interpreters.
Individuals living with hearing impairment in Thika town have expressed their grievances, citing an increased sense of exclusion within society. The individuals argue that they encounter hardships when trying to access services in public spaces due to barriers in communication, as they say many service-providing areas have no sign language interpreters. Led by Paul Masharia, a sign language interpreter, they expressed the importance of having sign language interpreters in all sectors, both public and private. Masharia made these remarks during an awareness walk held in Thika as part of the Deaf Awareness Week, which aims to raise awareness about the challenges faced by individuals living with hearing disabilities.
Challenge nyingine ni wakati wanashikwa kunatokea msako wa polisi, na wakiwa pale polisi akija akimshika akimwongelesha hamjibu, na yeye polisi anafikiria huyu mtu ni ile wanasema ananyeta, anakuwa kichwa ngumu.
As explained by Masharia, many individuals with hearing impairments often find themselves embarrassed or even denied services due to barriers in communication in areas such as hospital and even police stations.
Kwa hospitali kuna challenge kwa sababu mgonjwa akienda pale hospitalini na ile ugonjwa wako nayo inahitaji kupeana historia yake. Hana injury yenye daktari anaweza ona most of the times hataweza kumtibu kwa sababu hataweza kujielezea.
He called upon the government to establish guidelines for sign language communication for the healthcare workers and security agents to address these issues once and for all.
Ni vizuri kama venye tunasema siku ya leo, sign language for us all inafaa ikue na kila mtu.
Politicians have also been urged to ensure that all sign language interpreters are present at all their political rallies.
Hapa Kiambu kuna watu ambao hawasikii, wengine wanauliza kazi lakini karatasi zao zinawekwa huko chini kwa kuwa ni ngumu kuzungumza na wao.
It is important to note that the Kenyan law recognizes sign language as the country's third official language, following Swahili and English. Yvonne Kimuma, KU TV.
Right, Lagdera Member of Parliament Abdikadir Hussein has called for the extension of the Kenya Development Response to Displacement Impact project. The MP says that the rollout of a second phase is necessary owing to the success of the initial phase. Hussein was together with the Principal Secretary, Arid and Semi-Arid Lands and Regional Development Idris Dokota in Mogadishu town to tour several projects under the KDRDIP.
Well, on a tour of several projects under the Kenya Development Response to Displacement Impact Project, KDRDIP, in Mogadishu town, Lakdera MP Abdikadir Hussein has called on the World Bank to extend the project to phase 2, saying that it has greatly benefited the residents.
Na sisi pia tuko na kazi yetu ni kueleza serikali iendelee na hiyo. Kwa sasa tushamaliza phase 1. Tunataka na phase 2 ambayo tuna hope kwamba itafanyika.
The project was approved by the World Bank on April 26, 2017 and became effective on June 28, 2017. It was designed to reduce the impacts of long-standing presence of refugees among host communities. Hussein further commended the project for changing people's lives, saying that it greatly empowered communities at the grassroots level.
Jenga mambo mengi, maji kama shule, maji, hata na afya, all sectors. Tunafanya kazi vizuri. Sasa tunatarajia itakuwa itaendelea tena mwaka tano mwingine ili tuzidi kupata faida.
AASL and Regional Development Principal Secretary Idris Dokota, on his part, assured of government's commitment to ensuring that the livelihood of the people in communities hosting refugees is not negatively affected by the influx of refugees, which increase competition for the scarce resources.
We have initiated some interventions, especially drought mitigation interventions. And later on also we came up with a drought recovery strategy where we ended up having initiatives such as restocking, because restocking, most pastoralists lost livestock, a number of livestock. So we are trying to do restocking, although it's on small scale, subject to little resources that we have received.
The PS went on his 3-day visit, commissioned the Alang Arba Water Project, Haji Aden Water Project, Afweni Primary Project, the Barsaben Water Project, all under the Kenya Development Response to Displacement Impacts Project. Maswanjiro, KUTV.
Right, thank you Maswanjiro for that. Now, when an award-winning Sudanese filmmaker documented the journey of Sudan's martial arts team, which traveled by road to Kenya for an international championship in 2019, he did not know that 4 years later he will be taking a similar path as he did in the film Journey to Kenya, but for a completely different reason. Here is his story from the VOA.
It's a journey the group thought would take 2 to 3 days from Sudan to Kenya via Ethiopia to participate in an international jiu-jitsu competition in Nairobi, but it turned out to be full of surprises.
It took us 6 days,
days sleeping in the car, days sleeping at a gas station in the car. And I remember that there was a coup in Ethiopia. We had no internet and we couldn't follow the map, so we lost the road.
The hardest part for me was just sitting in the car there, like, you know, it was so long.
At the end, through insurmountable challenges at times, they made it to Nairobi 2 hours before the competition started. And they made their country proud. Screening the movie for the first time in Nairobi felt different, Snoopy told us. He recently had to make a similar trip again because of the war in Sudan over the past 5 months.
Right now, I'm living my movie. You know, not living with the characters like in before as a filmmaker. And I went through the same thing, you know, and it was so painful because I traveled for 18 hours from Ethiopia to Kenya borders, and from Kenyan borders to here, 19 hours.
Rafael Reyes, another filmmaker, also debuted a short documentary about an unusual beauty salon in Khartoum. The salon is also a sanctuary for women across Sudan fleeing domestic violence.
I got married in 2017. The first 6 months, we were in a good place. After 6 months, my life turned 180 degrees. Then started the verbal abuse, hitting.
With this film, she's trying to help people understand what some women in Sudan go through.
The domestic violence, the harassment outside, even the rape, a lot of stuff going on. So I'm just trying to, you know, tell the story in a creative way that's like I'm not attacking the man. I'm just giving the woman space.
Last but not least, the audience got to enjoy the screening of another Sudanese filmmaker, Yasser Fayez. The award-winning 15-minute film is based on the novel The Waste Man. The actual title is considered a bit crude. It rhymes with dog sitter. The thought of the main character's daughter, who turned 18, having a boyfriend, brings up layers of her father's Sudanese culture he thought he had left behind when he immigrated to the Netherlands 26 years prior.
It's actually a film about immigrant facing problem of with the culture of the place he live it. He think that he have no problem, but when these critical events, the problems came out.
While these filmmakers have found a new place to live in Kenya, they also hope to someday be able to document the war at home in Sudan. Mariama Diallo, VOA News, Nairobi.
Okay, we are due for another short break. When we come back, we'll be diving into sporting news.
Are you an aspiring media practitioner, a graduate, or you just want to advance your skills in television production? Then welcome to Kenyatta University, where education meets innovation. KUTV, the premier university television station in Kenya, is now offering short courses in TV studio, field technical operations, and video editing. Through these courses, you will acquire hands-on skills on camera operations, media production, lighting techniques, audiovisual editing, and sound and visual control, and how to operate key equipment in modern TV control room. Enroll today at KUTV and discover your full potential in cutting-edge TV broadcasting. Graduates of these courses will receive professional certificates. For more information, visit our offices at KUTV Studios or call us on 020-870-4252 or 020-870-4255 or SMS us on 0739-110-544. KUTV, a new experience.
Technology, science, innovation, ICT and research. These are the ingredients upon which the solutions to the 21st century problems are founded. In a world that is rapidly changing, it's all hands on deck to ensure a balance in all fields of life. young and old are also in the front line, breaking the glass ceiling, becoming thought leaders in the larger tech space. Not forgetting other societies marginalized. And when the tech Avengers come together, we inch closer to a much safer, efficient, and sustainable world. What we view as a norm in today's advanced world was just an idea, and for nostalgic reasons, we trace back the iconic days to bring you the retro tech. On Tech Innovation Show, we encapsulate all the pillars of the fourth industrial revolution, decoded in a language, all for one for all. Every Monday at 8:30 as we push the mantra, keep learning something new each and every day. Only on KUTV, a new experience.
Alright, time for the latest in the world of sport. The national women football team Harambee Starlets kick off their 2024 World Cup qualifiers campaign with a 1-0 loss to Cameroon in the first round encounter stage in Douala. Coach Beldin Odemba Charge will be keen to reign supreme in the second round with at least 2-0 victory scoreline to qualify for the second round. The return leg will be staged on Tuesday in Nyayo Stadium, Nairobi, while the aggregate winner of this competition will face either Botswana or Gabon for a slot in the 2024 African Cup of Nations qualifiers set to be held in Morocco. World marathon record holder Eliud Kipchoge will return to action tomorrow morning during the 49th edition of the annual Berlin Marathon. The athletes seeking first time and leading performance as they look to make a mark ahead of next year's Olympic Games in Paris. Kipchoge will face dominant field of the streets of German capital. 10 other men in the elite field have recorded sub 2.06, that personal best. Kenyans Jonathan Maiyo, Eliud Kiptanui, Ronald Korir, Philomen Kiplimo, Enoch Onchari, and Mark Korir, and Ethiopia's Tabu Abete, Adunalib Shirfaro, and Hafto Teklu, plus Eritrea's Girmay Gabriel Selassie, Asif headlines the women's race after improving the women's course recorded by the more than 2 minutes last year. Now, Tusker FC bounced back to winning ways after a 1-0 win victory over newbies Mohoroni Youth at Ruaraka Stadium. David Odoyo's stroke led to hand the Brewers their 3 maximum points. In another match played today in Football Kenya Federation League, FC Leopards and Kenya Police shared a spoil in a 4-goal thriller at Moi Sports Center, Kasarani. Right, we are done, and that's all we had for you tonight. Many thanks for keeping us a company in the last 30 minutes or so. My name is AUMA Evans. Joy MUTAVA has been on our sign language interpretation tonight. Until next time, it's a bye-bye and God bless.